Oh, this idiot. Where's Will? What am I doing here? Okay, well, chill out. Okay, folks. Here's what I'm doing here, actually. Not a long time ago, I want to say maybe 2 weeks or so, I reviewed a knife on my channel called the Bark River Bushcrafter. And we all know Chris Tanner's not a bushcrafter. But as I was testing that knife and I was so impressed with it, I'm like, look, I know everybody's going to want to know what Will thinks about this knife. Because he's the bushcrafter. So we happen to actually be out here in the woods, and I happened to have that knife with me, and I remember it was like, hey Will, you definitely got to try this knife out. So I'll get the hell off the camera, and we're going to have Will try out the Bark River Bushcrafter in 3V.
Alright, so like Chris said, you know, we was out in the woods, we've been filming a multitude of videos, and he's like, hey, look, I just remembered, you've got to do this video, you've got to check this knife out. I love it, you're going to love it, blah, blah, blah.
It's not the factory sheath, by the way.
It isn't?
That one isn't,
okay.
no.
Alright, well, so I was going to show the sheath. It's got a very nice bushcraft style, you know, one finger sheath on it, but evidently this is not stock. What is this?
That's off another knife. The sheath that I had wasn't the right sheath, and I just put it in another one I liked better.
Okay, so let's get rid of the sheath, and this is the Bushcrafter. Looks really cool to me. I love the blade profile. It's got just a little bit of a belly that extends out a little bit. It is in 3V, which makes this thing edge retention ridiculous. Just absolutely ridiculous. It also makes it a little bit lighter in my opinion. That being said, it does make it a little harder to sharpen in the field. I've been through this a million times. Just keep an eye on it. You know, you could probably work with this thing all day long. The next day, just drop it. Other than that, one of the very unique things that I found about this knife, and this is literally the first time that I've held it, is the unique handle. I really am digging this handle, and we could see right there, you know, it really flares out down here. That's a nice palm swell, but when we're, you know, getting up into the throat of the handle, that's when it slims down, it gets thinner, and gets a lot of control. I'm really liking that. So all we can do now is go put it to use, see how this thing works on some wood. Alright, so when I'm doing a knife review, on my channel at least, I like to make it a little bit educational at least. So I'm going to kind of rough cut a spoon. I'm not going to make the whole thing. We don't have time to do that right now. We're actually burning daylight. We're on like video number 10 right now. But, you know, I selected a piece of wood right here that gets really thick around this area right here. And when I'm selected for a spoon, I'm going to kind of measure out my spoon, and I'm going to put that right in the middle of the wood, right about here. And there's two reasons why I do that. One is I want the thickness up here for the bowl, you know, then I want it to thin out right here. But two, I also want to put it in the middle so I have something to hold on to when I'm carving, flipping, carving, things like that. I want something to hold on down here, and I want something to hold on to down here. So when you're selecting something for a spoon, don't make the spoon this, you know what I mean? You're going to make the spoon right about here. I see a lot of people kind of mess up that way. Then they have a really hard time getting into the bowl, stuff like that. So, alright, let's get on to it with the Bushcrafter here, and we're going to separate this, baton it out. This is about the limit I would take to put this knife to, and make sure that my cut is where I want it. This is a nice walnut, so this isn't light wood either. That would make a really nice spoon right there. Really unique pattern in there. But so what I would do is kind of mark it out, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to get into some really beefy cuts right now. Just get that rough cut. Oh man, that's nice. Just get that basic shape is all we're kind of leaning towards right now. And that is hogging that wood out right there. Nice plane, makes that really smooth, nice. That's what I'm looking for. And then I take, measure, kind of eyeball it where I need to start. Do the same thing on the other side. Man, that is just planing out really nicely. Let's get a couple more. And you notice you don't see, you can tell a good blade because you don't see very much like stuttering. You know, you see a nice clean cut just like that. And that's what I want. A nice clean even cut. So let's go ahead and go to the top, plane out. That's a good thing about this knife. It has that nice long straight cutting edge, so I'm using the tool to its maximum efficiency, getting a nice plane out, nice smooth surface. That is just hogging that out very nicely. Let me just see if I can't stop it right where it is. Look at that chunk right there. That's what I want to see. That's what's going to give you a nice even board. Whether you're making a bow drill set, spoons, whatever, you want to start with a surface like that. A nice clean flat surface is going to make your job a lot easier and efficient. Alright, so as you can see where we planed, you can definitely tell where we have not planed. But again, I'm just going to get that basic rough shape of a spoon out here. And I want to leave the bark on. It's also for grip. Basically for safety, guys. You don't want this thing slipping and sliding all over your hands. Nice rough cuts. Getting that basic shape down. Nice. Now from here, what I would do would be to draw my spoon out just so I have the lines so I could follow. Make like a little egg shape here. Then draw these out. But I think this is about as far as we're going to take this. Like I said, sun's going down. We just got a basic shape. I like this though. I'm going to take this home actually. I'm going to work it off camera. Alright, so moving on. Alright, so moving on in the process, what I like to do, again, I've explained this a lot, but if you're a newcomer to this channel, I do the same test over and over and over again pretty much, and then I'll throw something a little extra. But I want to see what different knife handle that same test. Basically, I have a control. So I want to see how it performs on the same test that I do over and over and over again. So right now we're going to make some feathers right now. And I really like the fact that this got that thin handle up here. There's no pinch points, there's no hot spots, but I could tell that I have a lot of control up here. So let's go ahead and make some feathers off of this board right here. Alright. Jeez. Nice. I'm looking for how smooth the knife runs. I'm looking for consistency, how hard it is to find the grind, how easy it is to find the grind, which is incredibly simple on this knife. And it's just making spaghetti at this point. Very nice, very nice. And you know, this is important. A lot of people talk about, you know, hey, when's the last time you started a fire with a feather stick? Well, I do it from time to time, especially in less than optimal weather. But that's not really the point of this. The point is I'm testing a knife and I want to see what that knife's going to do on these smaller tasks that I do with every other knife. Especially when it's the first time actually handling it. Yeah, and there's certain knives that I get addicted to with doing something like this. This is like almost therapeutic in my mind, and this is one of those knives. This is just, I don't want to stop. This is very, very comfortable. I'm going to get some more thicker stuff.
Well, keep going and I'll just speed it up.
Okay. I mean, you could make a freaking broom out of this. Very nice. Change the angles up. Fill out the rest of the board. Man, this is a nice knife. I'm not getting hot spots in my hand. I'm not cramping up, which sometimes happens with certain knives when you're working for a longer period of time. I'm not experiencing that right now. So what I want to do is I want to try to fold curls right over each other. And the way to do that is to hold your knife completely straight. But with this knife, it has that little bit of an angled belly on it. So I could shoot curls this way by angling. I could shoot curls this way by angling. But wrapping them right over each other might be difficult. Let's see what we can do here. Pretty much what I want right there. And all that I'm doing is, every time that I cut, I'm making two lines. I got a line here, and I got a line here. I'll just move over to that line and cut that ridge right down. And then just follow it all the way down, go to the edge, come back, follow it all the way down. That's just a couple, maybe a minute or so of feathering. Right now, as it is, this knife is a dream to work with. Really nice, comfortable knife. I'm liking it. Alright, let's get into some more heavy stuff. see what this can do with notchings and things like that. Alright, so now I want to do some more heavy stuff. Get to see what this knife could do on some more, you know, tougher stuff, tougher tasks. I'm going to do some notching in here. Basically, I want to test this 3V out, the edge retention of this 3V, because I'm going to be rolling notches and getting it stuck and kinds of stuff. The one thing I can say about this is it's got bite. It bites really, really good. So I want to see how deep that went. Let's see if I can probably do this with the there we go. Now if you don't have a knife that can hold up to something like this, then you possibly have the wrong knife. A little shaky. I've been working all day with stuff. Before you know it, there's gonna be rumors about me having Parkinson's disease too, Chris.
Join the club.
Right.
This segment brought to you by Diet Pepsi.
So now we can get that tip, and that's one thing I like about this knife. It does have that nice contoured, almost clip point sort of tip to it that you can get into what you're working with. Get a thumb assist in there and clean up notches or whatever you're working with. This knife, I have no fear of the tip breaking, cracking, anything like that. This is a hard wood too. Get that notch nice and cleaned up. Get that belly in there too. The reason why I do tests like this is because I get to experience the entirety of the blade itself. Very nice, very nice. Not a dovetail, but very nice square notch. Alright, let's do this. This will be the last notch we do, then we'll move on. Gotta be careful, that's why I put a nice thumb assist in here, because I don't want it to pop over that V.
When you're doing stuff like this, that's one thing I really like about, you know, their convex grinds, is just how easy it makes biting into the wood.
Oh yeah, like I said, this thing definitely is a biter. If you're looking just to take a little tiny bit of wood out, you've definitely got to be careful.
Just think of the wood as Holyfield, and the
Tyson.
knife is Mike Tyson.
Biting his ear off right now.
That's just the random things that pop into my head with no apparent reason.
Welcome to the world of Chris Tanner. Buckle up. Nice, very nice. That belly of the knife, I like to get into my V notches to kind of contour out so I can hang things from them. It's just another nice test of the knife itself. And there we go. Nice little V notch. Just allowing me to work with the wood and the knife, see what I can do. Bull's nose this. Very nice, comfortable. Stepping up a little bit just to get that bull nose in. So if I ever needed to pound something in, this will just make that a little bit sturdier, so I could actually get a tool on the tip of this and not break it. And what I do is I just start down here, cut, move up halfway, cut, move up halfway, cut, and that gets a nice little bull nose in. There we go.
Now, one thing we don't usually talk about, maybe you can speak to, especially since you have, you know, your neck knife there. A lot of people think that these polished handles mean they're slippery.
Not at all. Not at all. No, this isn't slippery. You know, maybe if I possibly was butchering and had blood all over me, but then every knife is a little slippery at that point. This might be a little more so, but this would be a woodworker in my opinion. You know, I don't know exactly how much skinning and stuff like that I would do. I'm more than capable of doing it, I guarantee it.
Well, I've got a sliding lanyard on there too, so.
Right. And that's why I never used them, but you know, if I was doing some kind of skinning or something like that, maybe I would. But right now, as of right now, I really like this, and one of the big selling points is this handle. I really dig this handle. Nice, very nice. Let me see something real quick.
Now, one thing we should talk about, I think you're going to do here, we'll explain here in a sec.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Let's just see what we got.
Show how it is right now. Okay, so here's the important part. If you go back to my video, that was factory, and it struck a ferro rod and it scraped bark fine, but it wasn't like this. So I didn't even use the work sharp on that. I think I just used like a very fine diamond or something, ceramic rod, to just make that spine a little bit sharper the way I like it.
So you modded it a little.
So with Bark Rivers, they're kind of like right in that middle sweet spot. You could get by with it as is, you know, for a ferro rod or something like that, but it's not like an LT Wright sharp spine. And what's nice about it being in that spot is it gives the end user the ability to, with very minimal effort, just slightly tweak it one way or the other. If you're like someone that likes fiddle back forged knives that just do not have sharp spines, you can very easily do it that way, or you can very easily make it sharp like I did.
Well, I mean, there's pluses and minuses to that. You know, this is just a wood carver to me, and I have a main knife. This is just something that be a little bit big for a neck knife, let's be honest. But this is just something that, you know, I carry with me as a secondary tool just for carving. I might not want a 90-degree edge on it because I'm going to have thumb assists that are going to be involved and things like that. And, you know, putting a lot of pressure on the spine of that knife might not be as desirable for my thumbs as something that has a 90-degree spine, which the one that this one has on it is pretty ripping, dude. You did a pretty good job on it. But, you know, that being said, you know, something like this is the same way. This doesn't have a 90-degree spine on it either, because it did at first, but just from me working with the knife, it doesn't anymore. And I find it a little better, to be honest with you. You know,
so it really comes down to the subjective person, what they want. It's going to be easy to tweak it either direction.
Yeah, exactly.
Final thoughts on the first impression.
Man, do you have an idea of what the price range is? Because that's one thing. Do you know?
I forget. I have to look it up. I mean, they're typical. I mean, they're Bark River. It's 3V. It's going to be a little bit more on the pricey side.
So anybody that's looked at Bark River before, you know, might get a little sticker shock. But in my opinion, these are premium knives. You know, there's all kinds of those companies out there. LT. You know, I don't want to sit here and name drop, you know, companies, but this is one of those companies that these guys make knives that are gonna last. You guys are gonna hand this down to your kids probably.
Lifetime unconditional warranty.
Yeah. So this knife, in my opinion, just because of the way it's made, you know, I really think that it's worth the money. You know, if you guys are interested in something like this, if this is gonna fit your setup, I definitely encourage you guys to look this up. Possibly purchase one.
The other thing I would say about, you know, stuff like 3V and, you know, the different super steels in a Bushcrafter is, let's say you're out for a week and you're doing all that kind of stuff. I commonly hear people say, well, my $40, I'm just pulling a name out of a hat, Condor can do everything that can do. Okay, yeah, it's true, but for how long?
I mean,
as long as you just slightly, you know, you get used to it, and you just maybe touch it up a little bit with ceramic rod strop, it's going to be fine.
You're never going to win a debate like that. People, different strokes for different folks is what my dad always used to say. You know what I mean? There's people that don't mind having a $30 knife, and I don't either. You know, I carry Memorial sometimes. They're 14 bucks.
Yeah, so do I.
You know, and then, but you know, I do this a lot, almost on a daily basis. I'm in the woods every weekend pretty much. So for me, you know, I want something more stylish maybe, and plus more effective, more efficient, you know.
Bottom line is, it's not like they're two of the same thing and one costs more. I mean,
Right.
Premium steels, American made, the warranty, and that's a black handle because I like basic, but God, you could get so many different things.
Right. So many options.
It's subjective. If it floats your boat, fine. If not, you know, we're not gonna say you're wrong.
But like I said, the big selling point is this handle. It's so comfortable just in the regular, you know, position. Maybe a little bit of Swedish or whatever. Nice in the reverse grip. Very nice. Very comfortable. Nice palm swell. Nice arch. And then it's thinning out towards the throat.
So
Pretty nice.
the first Bark River you ever touched was that Aurora. So
Yeah.
what do you think compared to that?
Night and day. Night and day. I really like that Aurora. But I think I like this better, to be honest with you. And I would say this would be more of a main knife. That Aurora was more of a neck knife. You know, I would definitely put this on my side and just have this as my main bushcraft knife, for sure. After all that testing and all that work that we did on and off camera, the edge is still ripping. I don't think I even need to strop this. No.
Oh, there's no way.
You know, I'm not Chris Tanner. I don't shave hair off my arm, but anyway.
Shaves it off his back.
That's right, and I make ropes out of it, and I escape from islands like Jack Sparrow. Alright guys, so I think we've said about all that we can say about this knife. I'm very impressed with it. If you're impressed with it, if something that you think that's going to fit your setup, you can pick this up at Knife Ship Free or DLT Trading. Links for those will be in the description below. Go out there, and even if you just want to check them out, hit the links below, see if there's something else that interests you in there. You can go to DLT and you're going to see tons and tons of options also for the scales, stuff like that. You don't have to just be black like Chris, basic. But like I said, I'm really impressed with this knife, and I think
it's good to check both of them because they're gonna, there's gonna be some different options.
Yeah, Knife Ship Free and DLT Trading, very good places. I've checked them out various times. You can also pick up a Sotheby's at DLT as well. Shameless promotion there. But alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit subscribe down below. Would really help me out. What also helps me out is hitting like. That puts the YouTube algorithm, puts me ahead of some people, whatever. You can also help the channel and what I do by going to mantisoutdoorsllc.com/shop, shopping in the Amazon store. Other than that, I appreciate your views, comments, and support. Hopefully, we'll see you out in the woods.